This is the Golestan Palace, one of the oldest royal complexes in Iran's capital city, Tehran. The palace is located in a garden with lush green trees and beautiful water fountains. The complex was built during the Safavid era and was renovated during the Qajar dynasty. It was the royal residence of the Qajar ruling family. Emarat Badgir, or the building of wind catchers, is one of the outstanding buildings in Golestan Palace. There are 4 wind towers of green, yellow, and blue glazed tiles and a golden cupola. The wind catchers are constructed to allow the cooling wind move through the structure. During the Qajar era, the Golestan Palace was regarded as the center of Persian art and architecture. The complex consists of several structures, including palaces, museums, and halls. Now the palace is a tourist destination, especially for those interested in Persian art and history. Adorned by paintings, marble carvings, tile and plaster works, wood carving, and lattice windows, the Golestan Palace embodies the finest of Iranian art. This hall is named Talar Salam, or the reception hall, which was the greeting hall where the kings used to greet foreign dignitaries coming to Iran. The hall is known for its exquisite plaster and mirror works. The ceilings and the walls are decorated with plaster works, and the floors are covered with mosaic. The hall is about 30 meters high, and the whole construction was considered as one of the tallest buildings of the time. Salam Hall was designated to hold special receptions in the presence of the king. During the reign of Nasir-ed-Din Shah, this hall was used to exhibit Iranian and European paintings alongside gifts presented to the Iranian court.
I really need to get some lunch, but the problem is I can't cook and my mom isn't home. So I need to find a restaurant which can offer me just those traditional Iranian dishes that I could get at home. And I've heard that this place is the place to be if you're looking for Iranian traditional food. Let's see.
We are at a famous restaurant in Tehran with excellent traditional Iranian food. In order for me to get better acquainted with Iranian food, I came here and I was allowed into the kitchen as well. Mr. Adeli, the restaurant manager, helped me to get to know Iranian food better.
این باقلا قاطوقه که ترکیب شده از باقلا مواد اصلیش هست به اضافه شوید و تخم مرغ و یه مقداری از ادویجات معطر شمالی. میرزا قاسمیمون که کباب میشه بادمجون کامل با گوجه کبابی و مقداری ادویجات و تخم مرغ. این خوراک گردنمون هست که گردن گوسفندی هست. خورشت مرغ ترش شمال هست با سبزیجات معطر شمالی با گردو و رون مرغ.
Tastes really good. It's like a starter, I would say. Quite spicy, but not too hot. And a bit sour. Would go well with bread, actually, I think.
Mr. Adeli then introduced me to Iranian starters, such as olive salad with a special recipe, and torshi, which is an Iranian sour appetizer, and yogurt mixed with herbs. One thing one should keep in mind before coming to this place is to make reservations. This place is crowded at noon, and I don't blame them. The food does not only taste good, they also use fresh products, which is not always the case when you eat out.
So we're now here in the kitchen, and this is the place where the guests usually don't visit. But it's also here that the kebabs are made, and it is the artwork of this man.
6 مدل کباب داریم. کباب اولمون از کوبیده شروع میشه با گوشت سرخ کرده. بعد مخصوص ما سلطانمون راسته گوسفند تهیه میشه و جوجه مخصوص اون جوجه معمولی میشه از سینه مرغ اینا تهیه میشه.
So we're sitting here with a table full of Iranian starters. Here, for instance, we have yogurt, salad, fresh herbs with cheese, olives marinated in a walnut pomegranate sauce, and olive oil. And this is doogh. Doogh is a traditional drink in Iran made out of water, milk, herbs, and mint. And last but not least, bread. We find bread on every Iranian dinner table. Iranians usually favor the bread freshly baked, and as you can see, this place actually baked their own bread. They're round, thin, and hot, and are served on almost every Iranian dinner table. So the food, I finally made it to the final destination, that is my table, and I must say it looks really good. So let's try some. Bon appetit.
ما اینجا نون تازه داریم، سبزی تازه، سالاد تازه، همه چی به روزه. تمام گوشتامون همش گوسفندی و به روز هسته و اکثرا هم استقبال خیلی خوبی از اینجا می‌کنه.
Now, what I quite like about this place is that it's down in the cellar. And as you can see, this is a typical traditional Iranian restaurant. You have the ceilings with a Persian tablecloth, and last but not least, the menu. But it's not only a traditional Persian restaurant, it's actually a modern place as well, without being too minimalistic.
This is one of the most traditional and oldest dishes of Iran. Mr. Darabi, the restaurant manager, taught me how to eat easy. First, we break the bread into pieces and put it into the soup. The bread is then soaked in the soup and has a lot of flavor to it. Once we finish eating the soup with bread, we are left with the ingredients, which are meat, beans, tomato, potato, herbs, and spices. We mash the ingredients before eating it, and it tastes fantastic.
This is the Milad Tower, one of the tallest in the world, but it's more than just a tower.
The motto of this place is, it's not just a tower, and that's what I'm going to find out.
The Milad Tower boasts that it can create a day out for the family. It's a happening place with loads of fun. It has something for everyone to do. I saw the old and the young enjoying their experience, and my tour of the tower took more than just a day, but weeks.
The base of the tower includes 4 floors, which include souvenir shops, shops where they have Persian rugs, shops where they sell Iranian handicraft, and where you can grab a bite to eat.
Like every other monument, it offers souvenirs. But what was nice was seeing handicraft and rugs on display in the shops and the tower. So if you're here for a short visit, you don't need to go all the way to the crowded bazaars.
Finding a traditional Iranian drink isn't as easy as it used to be. The only place I found in Tehran that still serves Iranian sherbets is a sherbet house in the Milad Tower.
This place had their own secret recipe, so we didn't get the making process on camera, but the variety from hot herbal drinks to cool sherbets was amazing. A blend of natural herbs in your glass, and sadly the only one. The architecture and water displays were a relaxing blend. While it cooled the summer heat down, it displayed beauty at the same time. I know there are groups that are against bringing animals out of their natural habitat, but come on, it's a blast for the kids and adults alike. The only chance for all to see animals in action. The dolphinarium says it's one of the only ones so far from the sea and at such an altitude. A man's gotta eat, and seeing the water and all, I had to have fish. But this place has over a dozen restaurants from decent to VIP. From dart practice to shooting targets with guns, there are lots to do to fill your day. Check out my aim.
The music, the scenery, what else do you want? One of the fun things you can learn here is horse riding in the equestrian club.
A view of the city and learning to ride. Not the biggest, but considering it's in the city, it was good enough. The ultimate laser show. Could really take you off your feet. A splendid experience, short but nice. Not so camera friendly though. Last in the fun category is a game of paintball. Always a blast with friends, especially knowing they'll be bruised up for weeks.
It's funny because actually the tea is sort of as important as the food, because the tea culture is just a whole other world in itself, you know? It's a way of bringing in a guest.
سلام.
سلام.
حالش
خوب هستین شما؟
خوبید شما؟ خیلی خوش آمدید.
خیلی ممنون.
به رستوران ما یا سفره‌خونه سنتی ما.
خیلی ممنون. واقعا خیلی زیباست.
این سفره‌خونه ما، سفره‌خونه سنتی ما، سفره‌خونه باغ صباست در یکی از محله‌های قدیمی تهران به نام باغ صبا. خدمت عرض کنم که سفره‌خونه ما یکی از گفتم از مجموعه‌های کارهای هنری و معماری درست شده. اینجا نه که سفره‌خونه سنتیه و یکی از فرهنگ‌های اصیل ایرانی رو داریم باب می‌کنیم و نشون میدیم نمایش در بیاریم.
But back in the days, the tea houses were mainly for men. Today, they have been transformed into family venues. Places like this are usually symmetrical and people sit around in circles. And it just creates this environment where, you know, everyone's interacting with each other. You've got the music in the center, and then you got people sitting here, you've got others walking around. And if you see the paintings, this is the environment where people told old stories, they talked about poetry, they smoked the shisha or the qalyun as some call it.
اینی که شما این پذیرایی که می‌بینید شربت زعفرونه.
شربت زعفرون. Saffron tea.
زعفران تی. ببینید نکنید این از توی زعفران قاطی شده و خنک هم هست و این یک خاصیت پزشکی داره.
خیلی ممنون. پس اول شربت رو خورده میشه بعد چای.
بعد میریم سراغ چای سرویس چای گرم.
Here he was explaining the different sweets that are served with the tea. We have the crystallized sugar, the famous dates, and this is bamiya, which comes from zulbia bamiya. The two different types of sweets that are made, the wheat is fried, and then there's syrup poured on top. And then this is his own signature because it comes from his hometown, which is Hamadan. And it's not too sweet, so you can easily have many of them one after another. اینا غذای گرمتونه.
بله.
The hot foods.
این به ترتیب نکنید. این کوفته ریزه ماست.
میشه یکی امسال. این اصلیتش از کجاست؟ کوفته.
این مال تبریز.
مال تبریز. مرسی. I love کوفته. So now you see the mother of kuftes. So this is they have as the main dish, and it's quite a hearty meal. Here you have the two famous eggplant dishes, which is kashka badem jun and mirza qasemi. Mirza qasemi is tomatoes, eggplants with a good amount of garlic. And then kashka badem jun is the same with, it's just eggplant with lentils and meat. And then they put this whey sauce on top. And then if you're still not full, there is dolme. And dolme is a mixture of rice and meat and lentils, like actually split peas to be exact, with a very specific type of herb that they mix it, and they stuff them in eggplants, tomatoes, and peppers. And of course, there's the very famous barley soup. This is just to start you off, you know, just to tease you a little for the main dish, in case you weren't full after the salads and the teas and the fruits. So we're here at the food section in the bazaar. It's actually my favorite section. اینا از کجا آمده آلوها؟ همش مال مشهده؟ بهش کدوماش خورشتی هن؟
این 3 تا خورشتیه.
3 تا خورشتیه؟
اینم ترشه، اینم ترشه. حالا میتونید یه دونه تست کنید.
آی. خب چی خوبه الان آدم بخواد بگیره؟
همه چیز خوبه.
اونی که میگی همه چی خوبه، اما چی خوبه؟ الان میخوایم بگیریم ببریم با خودمون بخوریم.
سوغات پسته ببریم.
پسته؟
پسته همون هم تازه است، مال امساله.
یک کیلو خیلی نمیشه؟
بله.
خب دیگه چی خوبه؟
دیگه چی دوست داری؟
خب چی مثلا دم عیده؟ This is called mascati with roses and it's a gift. خب یه چند تا به کی بگم؟ آره. So apparently this is very special. I asked if like, is there anything that you have that is very unique to this store compared to all the other stores? And he offered the mascati with dried roses. It's very sweet. It's very sweet. I've had this in Turkey, but it's like I think it's just like melted sugar. Hello. There's other bazaars in Tehran other than the Grand Bazaar, but they're much smaller in size. For example, the one in Tadrish. And the products that they sell vary from coppers to jewelry to spices to carpets to clothes to handicraft. I mean, just name it. And also the architecture is really nice. They've kind of kept the whole olden signs and the feel of what old bazaars used to look like. این شیره است؟
شیره انگور.
از کجاست؟
ملایر.
من مادرم از ملایره. This is from my mother's hometown. Wow. So this is a syrup from the grapes? Merci. Wow, it's so good. It's really sweet. از اون این لواشک ها میدین؟ لواشک زرشک. Zereshk is barberry, which you can take its juice and have it as an antioxidant, or you can use it within these sour savories called lavoshak. It's very sour. But always matter. Merci. Your jaw is like locked. The stands that you see in Tadrish, they offer a variation of dried fruits, which are marinated in different ways. I guess you can compare this to sort of the big candy stores in the States, where you walk in and there's like 50 different variations. So it's kind of the same thing, but centered around dried fruits. See, like the stuff there that's in the flat plastic, like it's flattened, it's kind of the same thing that we just got, but rolled out. Because most of these are just dried fruit, and they lay it out in the sun and it dries up, and then they roll it and then they add sauce. I just love how everything here is from here, and organic, as they say.
We're on our way to one of the most packed bazaars of Iran.
The last time I was at a place called The Bazaar was actually a restaurant by that name at the SLS Hotel in Beverly Hills. But today, I'm going to a historical landmark where the modern meets the traditional, the promised land of Silk Road merchants, a must-visit for tourists.
Getting to the bazaar itself is even as fun as shopping.
Especially when you run into tourists. As I interviewed Julia and Amanda, who were visiting from China, they said so far in Iran they have experienced an ancient land with a vibrant and vital society. But all of a sudden, the tables were turned on me, and now I was the interviewee.
We're about to enter one of the most packed places of Tehran. It's a labyrinth in here. Each corridor of the Grand Bazaar is exclusive to a specific trade.
So be prepared to get sardined among the crowd, wear comfortable shoes, and come with ample time because you may want to visit the bazaar in its entirety, if that's possible in one day. As one of the oldest civilizations on Earth, almost everywhere you go in Iran, there is a reminder of history and art, which is also evident when you go shopping in southern Tehran. Navigating the Grand Bazaar is an art form in itself.
Bazaars don't have information desks. They don't have a directory, but they do have intersections to lead you where to go. This maze within a maze leads to one of the main centers for the trade of rug in Iran. Wow, this is definitely my favorite picturesque rug. Over 1,000 different colors of shades were used to tell the story of Prophet Joseph.
Amazing how this allegory is narrated on threads of silk. This reminds me of how ancient Persia plays a pivotal role in linking Europe and Asia through trade along the Silk Road. Okay, I don't mean to be a material girl living in a material world, but let's put history on the side for now and get back to shopping, cause
it's bling bling time. Follow me through what I'm calling the dazzle road of the bazaar. They say diamonds are a girl's best friend. I say, oh yeah, they are, especially the ones at this bazaar.
In a conversation exchange with Mr. Marhamati, I learned of the fluctuation of Tehran's Bourse Index and how people follow the price of gold for investment purposes on a daily basis.
The bazaar is a dangerous place for shopaholics such as myself. Let's go to yet another popular corridor.
Although Tehran is filled with huge shopping centers and malls, there's nothing like going to the bazaar, a place where you can find anything from a pot lid to one of the many products Iran is famous for, such as rugs, gold, jewelry, saffron, and much, much more.
Welcome to the corridor of customization, which is most frequented by women and tailors.
I must have walked through 10 kilometers of passages and alleys today. I was lost in Never Never Land and didn't want to go back home.
Ever felt like going shopping and visiting a historical site at the same time? Well, with its traditional architecture, Tehran's Grand Bazaar is your kind of place. Is it crowded or is it crowded? We have people right there bargaining. We have people over there yelling for tea.
And some are simply enjoying the experience of tradition and culture. Safro Norouzi for Iran.